So in yesterday's video, I talked, or at the end, I mentioned the fact that I used to, well, not used to, I still do. I work around 12 to 13 hours a day, and I want how I want my kids to, if they ever have a passion, they should be executing at the level of working 12 to 13 hours a day. And now that I think about it, most people don't actually really work that much in their life, and even in things that, they're forced to do, such as going to work, because most people work for, 7 to 8 hours a day, and the things that I do within my business and my life, I spend around 12 to 13 hours a day on my business. And you might be thinking, how is that possible, right? Like, do you not lack, motivation? And the key thing that I want to get down for you, all you guys, is the fact that you can't use motivation in this sort of space when you're trying to work those many hours. Because, like me, for example, I wake up at 5 a.m. to pray, and then by 5 a.m. I'm awake, and by 6 I'm at my desk, and I work until maybe around 11 or so, and then I go to classes, and then I chill at the school for about maybe until around 3 o'clock. So I stay at school for about 4 hours, and then I just do like maybe an hour and a half there, so that'd be around what, 5 hours of work there already, or so 5.5, I'm not sure. I don't know, 6.5 hours. My math is a bit off. And then by the time it's 6.5 hours of work, it's only 3 p.m. and I have until like 10 p.m. So within that time, that's 7 hours of time. I can work about another, 5 hours to 6 hours, and I hit 12 hours a day. And the key component to this is understanding what is my final goal at the end of the day. And I always relay this message back and forth within my head because I always plan my day the night before so I don't deal with paralysis, because the less decisions that you have to make in the morning related to what you want to achieve in life, the less problems that you're going to face, and the less friction that you're going to have to make. So for example, I would have, clothes laid out for me the night before for school time when I'm about to leave. So I'll have clothes on my bed right now. Like you can see a little bit of this orange right here where my thumb is. That's, I don't know, like a t-shirt or something, right? And the point being is that you have less decision fatigue later on, and as a result, you waste less time. So another thing, for example, like, some people deal with slow computers, and I actually heard this from Sam Ovens. If you don't know who he is, he's like a really famous businessman, like one of the like pioneers of business within the early 2010s to 2020s, right? And one of his main things that he'd do is that he'd always invest in new tech relative to his computer and stuff, because any downtime that he had, his brain would start to, think of other things to do, and get distracted, etc. And the key limiting thing is that you want to be like a horse that has blinders on when it runs. Like horses, when they run in races, they have blinders on so they don't see other competitors, and they just focus on running their best. And that's one thing that you need to implement within your life, which is not having distractions on your side. And a way to limit that is not having any, you know, you have distraction within your life. And as a result, you limit the amount of decisions that you have to make within your day, and that eliminates the distraction itself. It's not about how everyone's going to have distractions, but the way to limit them is not by actually attacking the distraction, but rather what's causing it. And what's causing it is having downtime. So when I already have clothes laid out for me, I would also, I would something that I just recently implemented was, even though it's not related to the topic, sort of, I take a midnight shower or a nighttime shower instead of a morning shower, because as a result, I don't have to think about, is my clothes, do I smell bad relative to what I'm going to wear for school today, right? And, just these small little things start to add up. It's sort of like just improving your life one step at a time, to the point where all you can think about is work. And even with my computer, for example, right? Like I have small improvements. I have this software called Flux, which is a software that allows you to it automatically dims your computer screen so it emits less blue light in the nighttime, and as a result, it gives off more yellow light, and it reduces the blue light as the time goes on during the nighttime as you work. So I might work until 10 p.m. and I start at like 6 a.m., work to 10 p.m. Obviously not straight ahead, right? I take breaks in the middle, but the important thing is that I don't have any distractions, because now when I have blue light, I can't sleep. So I'm gonna, in that like 15 minutes where I need to sleep, my mind is bouncing towards many different topics, and as a result, I might say, remember that funny video that you watched a couple of days ago on Instagram? You pull out your phone, you go on Instagram, bam, an hour goes by, 2 hours go by, it's midnight, and you just have a shit day tomorrow. Point being is that the only thing that stopped it was not me deleting Instagram. Well, to be fair, I don't use Instagram because I don't have that anymore, which is another thing I'm gonna bring up. Just stay with me. And I don't have Instagram, right? But that's not the main point. The point being is that I'm fixing the underlying thing beforehand, which is the fact that why am I not sleeping? Or why was I on my phone? Well, because I couldn't sleep. Why could I have not slept? Because I was up late. Why was I up late? Because I was working on my business. You can work on your business in the daytime. Why were you working in the nighttime, and why can't you sleep? Well, it's because, researching a little bit, it's blue light. So what do you need? Either blue light glasses, which I don't know if I have here. I have blue light blockers as well. Oh yeah, I do. I have blue light blockers right here. You can tell. Let's see. I have blue light blockers right here, right? And I won't wear them right now because 9 a.m. So who really cares, right? And I have flux on my computer, so that automatically dims the lighting and gives off more yellow light, and as a result makes me sleep more early or sleep better. And couple that with a shower, which makes me less, I forgot what it's called, where you sleep better when you take a shower the night before or when you're about to go to sleep, and you just start off the morning on a right foot. And it's just these small little things within your life that allows you to become your best self. And let me tie back to the Instagram point. I have completely eliminated social media scrolling from my life, and I've even gotten this question from my friends before. And you can, on Instagram, there's this feature where you can see what your friends have liked, and I got asked like, hey, I never see things that you like on your posts and stuff. I've never seen you like anything. And anything that they do see is like me from like 3 months, videos from like 3, 6, 9 months ago, because I don't scroll anymore. Reason being is that I deleted Instagram. So Imran, how are you going to message your friends? Well, I have this app that I use called Beeper, which connects all my social medias but removes the inboxes. So removes the scrolling aspect, the video part. So now that the only thing that I have, so if I have a WhatsApp, I have Instagram, I have I have TikTok. Well, not really, but I don't really use TikTok. I don't have TikTok at all. And I just connect them all into one inbox. Now all of the messages are in one place, and there's no scrolling. So when I get notifications, they're actually important. And when I send outreach messages to business owners, I don't have to open up Instagram, accidentally hit my explore page. Next thing you know, I forget to reply to the business owner. And then on top of that, I'm just scrolling for 30 minutes. That's just small little improvements in your life. So I use Beeper, I use Flux, I use sometimes I use blue light blockers if I'm working on my MacBook, right? If I'm at school, or like if I'm out late or something. So point being is, you just have to have these small little things that ultimately just improve your life, and as a result, you work longer and you stay focused, on the one goal that you have. This doesn't always have to be related to business, right? You can implement this within your life thinking. Sports, for example, instead of going to packing a lunch beforehand before you go out to train, for example, or when you're reading, eliminating distractions by putting your phone in a completely other room. Just these small little things. And the point that I'm trying to make is that once you do this, and including one more thing that I want to add, which is I use something called PomoFocus on Windows. I'm not sure if it's on MacBook, so someone has to verify that for me. I'm not doing that. You guys can do that, but I know there's a MacBook version of it. It's called Session, but I don't know if PomoFocus. I prefer PomoFocus over Session, but PomoFocus is basically a Pomodoro timer. 55 minutes working and then 5-minute break. And during that break, all I do is I don't go on my phone because I can't go on my phone, right? There's nothing to do on my phone. Social media is gone, right? The only messages that are somewhat important are on Discord, which is on my PC, right? And I was just on my PC, and all I do is literally just pace around my room for 5 minutes. That's it. I just do that. It's almost like 9 a.m. right now, and I started at 6 a.m., and it is like the third hour of focus, and I've paced around my room 3 times so far. So 15 minutes of just walking around my room. Someone who's watching me outside my window is gonna think that like I'm like crazy or something. And truth be told, like it kind of looks like I'm just pacing my room over and over again. In fact, I just got a reminder for to do it again. My 55-minute timer is over. But point being is that you just have these small little things that you implement. So an action item for you guys for today is, what do you want to do within life? And whatever you want to do, and if you're lacking focus, whether you're trying to study for a test or something related to business or sports, etc. Figure out some ways to remove any distractions, and as a result, you work harder for longer. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's the end of the video. Bye for now. See ya.